people come to see 'em. They really are a spree 'em. The Addams Family.
Neat. Sweet. Petite.
So get a with your shawl on, a broomstick you can crawl on. We're gonna pay a call on the Addams Family.
Space, a final frontier. These are the voyages of the starship Enterprise. Its 5-year mission, to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no man has gone before.
How epic is that to have Star Trek as your theme song, as you enter in? I can't do that. Welcome to the new nerd in town. This is I'm the new nerd. Again, I'm here. Just had some fantastic, wonderful. I keep saying fantastic. But anyway, if you don't know who I am, just check out the banner down below. I am the new nerd. This is the new nerd in town. We're talking about TV shows tonight. Wow. So Sunday, I went off on a tangent. I know I did. In fact, you know what? I'm just going to move this so I'm a little center. Right there. Right there. I know you can see my eyes now. So you know that I'm not looking off into the distance or my pirate ship or anything like that. I've made a couple of adjustments while I'm here. And I'm here for you. We're here to talk about TV shows. Sunday's show will be up on YouTube in probably a day or so. I am going to Comic-Con tomorrow. And I just want to start off by doing some house cleaning. I do my own house cleaning. I know how to operate a vacuum. Thank you very much. I just want to say thank you very much to Right Arc, Soy Pelo Rojo, Wiggles a Bit, and Takirijim. If I butchered your names, I'm so sorry. But you are you guys were the new followers while we were doing the New Nerd in Town, and I just want to say thank you so much. I did not have a follower alert. That is on me. I'm so new to streaming. I watch it all the time, yet doing all this behind-the-scenes stuff is just absolutely crazy. But we're here for the TV shows. We're here to have some fun. So I just want to say thank you very much to those 4 who came in, and I want to thank everybody who watched last on Sunday. It already feels like last week, but it was a couple days. So we started off discussing some of the TV shows that I will be talking about. Not gonna lie, I did not get to watch all the ones I wanted to talk about tonight, but this upcoming Sunday, we will talk about all the ones that I missed. It was really only like 1 or 2 shows. I'm so sorry. I'm terrible at TV talk. But anyway. Yeah. So tonight we're going to be talking about, just a quick overview, we're going to talk about Once Upon a Time, and we're going to be talking about, obviously, Gotham, because I fangirled over that hard. And, of course, we're going to fangirl over it some more. And we're going to talk about last night's season premiere of The Flash. So excited. Just finished the episode literally minutes before I hit the stream button. And I gotta say, the episode definitely had a lot of feels. It did not play on the usual comic and all that kind of stuff, but it definitely showed, it's definitely doing what a lot of like sequel seasons do, and sequel episodes, sequel seasons and sequel movies do, and that's get more into the emotions of some of the cast members that you know and that you get to learn and meet. Of course, a lot of things went down in the season finale of The Flash, but, of course, that's what happens in season finales. Lots of feels. And now, season 2, we're just picking up on it. Talk more about that later. And, yeah. Talk about some other things. I'm getting ready to go to Comic-Con tomorrow. It's my first time ever at New York Comic-Con. It's my first time at any sort of con, except for audio conventions and really stupid stuff. I'm kidding. I've been to just a couple of conventions, and then, of course, I've worked a lot of conventions. So, I'm sorry. I'm fitzing with a lot of stuff. I should stop fitzing. Stop the fitzing. What is this? What am I doing? Okay. All right. So, yeah. So television was good this week, so far. We had season premiere of The Flash last night. We also had Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. came out with episode 2, so we got to see a little bit more of Quake. I didn't get to see it. I apologize for not doing that. I feel like such a terrible person. But anyway, such is life, right? Tonight, as I'm speaking, in fact, or in about an hour, where the season premiere of not 1, but 2 shows are going to be coming out. And that's, of course, American Horror Story, Hotel, with Lady Gaga, and, of course, the returning cast members from the rest of the American Horror Story series. And also, Arrow comes back for a big season 4, especially after that season finale, where you saw Oliver just sail off into the sun. I'm not going to be Ra's al Ghul, and he just sails off to the sun. Takes his love with him. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if the Arrow comes back, or if he's, dare I say, the Green Arrow. So, right. So why don't we move right along and talk about the shows that came out this week. This week, of course, we had such a fantastic episode of this, but I want to get started with ABC and Disney's Once Upon a Time. Once Upon a Time was fantastic. Why do I keep saying fantastic? Once Upon a Time was very dark, and it seems like we're going to be getting dark, but we're also going to be seeing a different side of Jennifer Morrison, who plays Emma Swan, who has now become, well, in the season finale of last season, she became the Dark One, which was a role usually taken by Rumpelstiltskin up until last season, where she decided to take on the role of the Dark One. So far, we've seen a lot of the same of Emma Swan. She's timid. She's unsure of herself. She doesn't really know that she wants to be the Dark One. She has Rumpelstiltskin from Happily Ever After in the back of her head, and that's the character that we see while she's like thinking about the Dark One, being the Dark One. And she obviously, she doesn't want to be the savior, but she doesn't want to be the Dark One more. So it's always very weird. She doesn't always want to be the savior, but at the same time, she doesn't want to be. Obviously, she doesn't want to be the Dark One. No one wants to be the Dark One. But the magic is just so great. I mean, come on, dark magic. It sounds awesome. I would have dark magic if I could. But magic always comes at a price, so, you know, we're always stuck to that kind of thing. And, of course, we got to see a little bit of the Dark One when they got back to Storybrooke. And I'm not sure if I'm digging the Frost hair. I don't know. It's a little too Jack Frost movie. If anyone remembers that one, it was kind of a failed attempt after the Santa Claus movies did so well. She's not comfortable being the Dark One. We could see that in the storyline, and obviously the storyline is going to progress. We're going to find out what happens to each of the characters as they go through Camelot, because we did find out that they lost their. They did happen to lose some of their memories, as it always happens. It turns out every time someone casts a spell in that show, you just lose your memory. For those of you who have Alzheimer's, I'm sorry from the writers of Once Upon a Time. I'm sure you're probably not going to remember me saying that, but I just want to get it out there that I apologize on behalf of the writers of Once Upon a Time, because essentially every time someone uses their magic, people forget things. It's kind of like a magical roofie. Or as Job puts it in Arrested Development, forget-me-now pills. And he just wants you to forget. He just wants you to forget. Just forget. Please forget. So everybody's trying to recollect their memories. We find out that King Arthur and all the people from his kingdom have come and have come to Storybrooke. They're all in their magnificent garb. Although one person didn't make it. We find out that it's Sir Percival, one of the Knights of the Round Table. I do have to just throw this screen up. I said I have to throw this screen up. This screen is not coming up. Why is this screen not coming up? Yeah, that's a spoiler alert. I'm going to throw that up every time. Yes, we're still talking about Once Upon a Time. The spoiler alert screen will come up if I feel like I'm going to get into something a little story-oriented, just so people who haven't seen the episode know that there's a spoiler alert. Mute me. You could still see me doing my hands and whatnot. But anyway, Sir Percival had remembered who the evil queen was. and that she happened to be lying, and that he wanted to kill her. Of course, the evil queen is whatchamacallit. She is in love. That's the word. She is in love with Robin Hood, and he goes in to save the day. Percival accidentally, scuffle. Robin Hood is the one who is mortally injured, and in trying to flee in the attack, David or Prince Charming. I like that combination. David or Prince Charming comes in and saves the day, and we find out that the beef between the queen, the former queen, evil queen, and Sir Percival was because of something she did years and years and years ago, and he's just holding a personal grudge. We do find out some other creepy details, as if you were to use dark magic to I can't think of my words tonight. If you use any sort of dark magic to help someone live when they are dying, of course, you need a body to get a body for the underworld. So back in Storybrooke, this creature comes in and tries to take Robin Hood, because that whole process was stopped by them saving Robin's life. What is wrong with me? I can't talk tonight. The episode was through that, and because Emma now is the Dark One, we need a new savior to come to light. The only other person that knows magic as well as Emma Stone does, or Emma Swan does, not Emma Stone. Although if you were in that show, I'd love it even more. Not as much as Viola Davis, for those of you who are watching from last week. But anyway, Emma Swan needs to be stopped. They need to have a savior, because the savior is now the Dark One, so now they need a new savior. So the evil queen tried to fill in the footsteps, yet nobody wants her to be the new savior, because she's been the evil queen for so long, and old habits die hard. Well, we find out that people do start to trust her towards the end, and when Robin is about to be taken to the underworld, and so close to seeing who Hades would be. I was thinking while I was watching this scene, and I thought we were going to get a glimpse of the underworld. I was kind of thinking of the Disney movie Hercules, and I wanted to see who they would get to be the Hades, because he was kind of like the evil version of the genie, of Robin Williams the genie, and I don't know who played Hades in Hercules, but I was just waiting for someone with like flame hair to come out and just be like, "Ooh, I've got another one! Ooh, this is so exciting," and just have so much fun with it. But alas, it's only the second episode of the season, so hopefully the underworld will be there for us. We do have Rumpelstiltskin lying on a cot in a coma, about to die, but we're just waiting for those rose petals to fall, kind of like in Beauty and the Beast. This week's episode, you got to see how Emma Swan is as the Dark One, and I like the new confidence that Emma Swan has now as she's walking around. It's almost as if she has found a fulfilled purpose, and she is she's got more of that confidence when she walks around and whatnot. She still has that kind of skittish nature to her in which she wants to feel like she belongs, but because of whatever happened in Camelot, she does not have... She knows that she's not going to be able to... she knows she's not going to be able to come alive. So yeah, so we get to see two kinds of Emma Swan. You get to see the Emma Swan in Camelot that still doesn't know that she wants to use her powers, but you also get the Emma Swan that you get to see the Emma Swan that is more confident. And it's something that I think has been missing from that character. Not from the whole show. The whole show itself is great. Ups and downs as always, mostly ups. But as far as Emma Swan goes, she's always just very unsure of herself, and she doesn't know if she is the savior. And I have a feeling that's where they want the character to go. But at the same time, the character now has this newfound confidence when she becomes the Dark One. And when she finally, what it looks like, embraces it as the Dark One. And we will see further on what happens. But as far as this episode goes, I think I said twice when I was watching it that the plot thickens. At the end of the episode, and I'll throw this up again. At the end of the episode, we find out that King Arthur does not have Excalibur, as he did get in the first episode. However, towards the end of this second episode, you find out he doesn't have it, and that Emma does have it, but it's back in the stone. So you want to know... And then the Rumpelstiltskin in her head says that you need a hero to get the sword out. Okay, fine. Which hero in their right mind is going to help the Dark One? Now, we saw in this episode that Captain Hook, Killian, who is in love with Emma Swan, and vice versa, he tries to do the age-old trick that has worked nearly in every terrible situation, and that is, of course, true love's first kiss. And he kissed her, nothing. Kissed her again, nothing. But I think he and Belle are going to get close, and maybe he'll be able to find a way to cure the Dark One, whereas Belle was not able to. She fell in love with who everyone hated, but she wasn't able to fully get him to not think about himself. That's usually what the Dark One is. The Dark One is a character who just thinks about themselves, always in the long run, like any villain does. Most villains are written with themselves in mind. Some of them think they're doing right, others know they're not doing right, and thus people are stuck with this situation in which they're like, well, you know what? Nobody's been there for me, I'll be there for me. And then they just start doing things that they want to do and go forth and do it. So Emma Swan is the Dark One. Captain Hook is just trying his darndest to get her to come back to life. And it's just a kerfuffle. So which hero? Does Captain Hook help her because he thinks it's going to help her in the long run? It's going to turn her back into the savior that she's supposed to be? And then, of course, what does Merlin play in all this? We know Merlin is an integral story to the King Arthur. Everybody knows King Arthur and Merlin. It's like like a memory game type thing where you flip the two cards over and you get a King Arthur, and then you go to Merlin instead of two similar cards. That's not how you play the game, is it? Yeah, no, I didn't think so. But anyway, so it's such a dark subject, so I feel like getting a cigar or something like that and just smoking it. What does Merlin play? We find out in this second episode that Merlin is stuck in a tree, and if it's the same type of character that they had in the Disney's Sword in the Stone, then Merlin was kind of an old biddy. You know, he was old, and he was frail in the mind and as an old man, and he made mistakes. People always make mistakes. And yeah, so so we'll see what he plays in a part in this, and hopefully we'll most likely see how they get him out of the tree. That was the big test that Evil Queen had to do, where people didn't really trust her because, I mean, she's been the Evil Queen for so long. How can the Evil Queen turn from that to be the savior? And then if she retrieves Excalibur, what happens? I mean, we see that the dagger that powers the Dark One, or that engraves the name that can kill the Dark One and summon the Dark One and all this fun stuff. How does she or he, how do they meet the swords, and what does that do? I know it's the power of the light and the power of the dark side and the light side, and is Star Wars going to come into this? Are we going to get an episode where Yoda comes in and tells him do or do not? There is no try. Are we gonna see Captain Hook walk around with a backpack on? I hope so. That would be awesome. It would tie in beautifully with Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens, which we all know comes out on December 18th, 2015, which is just around the corner. Alas, I digress. And then if Excalibur at the end of the episode was back in the stone, how did it get in the stone in the first place? And big question. It's a big question. I don't know. Did Merlin have a part in it? Did King Arthur put it back in as to protect it because he knew that he was the only one to grab it? Will King Arthur be the hero that helps Emma retrieve Excalibur, because he was the one who pulled it out in the first place? He is considered a hero. He can pull it out. Lots of questions. Lots of questions leaving that episode. But it was a very good episode, very good setup, and it did quite the best of jobs as far as setting up the season. I mean, the first episode did a great job as well. No shams to the first episode, but the second episode, it really did get into the nitty-gritty of it all, and you did get to see Emma more as the Dark One, and you get to see her being pushed to the edge a little bit, not by the annoying face, the annoying voice of Mr. Rumpelstiltskin, but you did get to see a profound change in Emma Swan. Not Emma Stone, Emma Swan. So yeah, so it was a great episode. Can't wait to see where it goes. If anyone else has any sort of comments or anything like that, leave it in chat. Chat it up. Or if you have any comments and you see it on YouTube, you know, if you're watching this later on a video on demand, leave a comment. I'll read the comment and I'll check it out later. I mean, we're going to have some fun. We're gonna have some fun. I want you, the crowd, to give me something. I want the people. That was a terrible, terrible Bane impression. I will keep my impressions to a very, very, very minimum because, yeah, it does not belong on this stream at all. Maybe if you get me drunk, which could very well happen.